Some cursor states include a secondary object. So for example, inspect has this white sphere which symbolizes an object to inspect. For read we have the book. For pickup we have again the abstract sphere, also for drop. And for zoom there is this magnifying glass. So how do these things work? These elements like the book or the magnifying glass are called cursor symbols. Let's go into the hand cursor and have a look. The hand cursor prefab consists of two things. One is the hand itself and one is the symbol pivot. The symbol pivot is an empty object which marks the position of the secondary object in space. So below the hand there is the armature and the mesh of only the hand. And below the symbol pivot there are the three objects, the sphere, the book and the magnifier. So I'll show you the model itself to understand how the symbol pivot works. There is one additional bone in the middle of the hand. It's this yellow dot. And this is basically a bone which is present in all hand states to mark the position and the scale of the symbol in space. Hand states, which are meant to not have any symbol, have a scaling of 0 for this symbol bone. Other states, like the put state for example, which holds the white orb, have a scaling of the symbol bone of 1. Though the symbol bone will have a size of 1 where a symbol is intended to be, and it is placed at the position where the symbol should occur. So we can use this bone to show or hide additional objects. The object itself, so the white sphere for example, is just a random 3D object. You can basically use anything, but you should disable any collider on it, because the collider would catch the mouse event and this would block the cursor events. To place the object at the position of the symbol bone, we use the symbol pivot parent, which is an empty parent, and which will automatically follow the symbol bone. This is done through the CursorSymbol script. There is one field which is important, which is the symbolcontroller, and this should point to the symbol bone. So because of our empty object symbol pivot is always following this bone, we can simply put any decorative object below this anchor point. So the sphere, the book and the magnifier are simply placed at this symbol pivot. Now we have the situation that we don't want to see all these symbols anytime, but only in the specific states. So for example, we don't want to see the white ball at the grab pose or the touch pose and so on. We want it at the inspect pose. The display of the symbol itself, so the white orb, is connected to the bone. So the symbol bone will automatically scale to 1 where the symbol is used, and in other animations, for example the touch animation, the symbol bone is of size 0, so therefore the orb will automatically shrink to size 0 and will be not visible. But we have different symbols. For example, here we have the white orb and here we have the book. So how can we decide that here the symbol is the book and here the symbol is the orb? To do so, we can use the modifiers of the CursorSymbol script. So you can simply add an object with the Add Object button, and then you'll get a section like this. And there you say the sphere object should activate if the cursor is in drop state, for example. It should also be activated if the cursor is in put or in take state. In all of these other cursor states, it should be deactivated. For the book, we have another case. It should be activated only if the cursor is in read state. In all other cases, it should be deactivated. By using these stacks, you can define which symbol should be present if a symbol is shown. So for the read state, it's the book, and for the inspect state, it's the orb. If we change between two states which both have a symbol, there might be a problem, which is the intersection of the fingers. So if we are in inspect state, we have the white orb, and we change into the book state, then for a very short time the fingers move through the book, because the book is already present before the hand shapes the new state. So to fully eliminate this, we would need to create an animation exactly for each and every object, which would break the modularity of the cursor system. So there is one helper which at least reduces this effect a little bit. The grow and shrink option causes the symbol object not to be deactivated like this, but it causes an additional change of the cursor symbol size. So there's one thing to keep in mind. What we are changing here is the local instance. I either have to open the prefab and change it there, or we have to break the prefab instance with unpack prefab. Then we can change the settings here locally. So I go into the book and activate grow and shrink instead of deactivate, and let's see what happens now. So we are in inspect and we are in read. And now when the book appears, the book grows. And this makes it possible that the models are less overlapping, and therefore we don't have the intersection. So this is the option. Keep in mind that you might need to break the prefab instance, or that you might need to edit the prefab. By the way, the symbols are completely optional. If you don't need them, you can simply remove the symbol pivot by deleting the whole object. The hand cursor does not need it. So it works the same, but just without the symbols.